Today we reflect on Spurgeon's sermon about Paul's first prayer, found in Acts 9, verse 11. For behold, he prayeth. This is one of the most striking turning points in the New Testament. The moment Saul, the persecutor of Christians, became Paul, the servant of Christ. It was more than just a change of mind. It was the beginning of a new life marked by prayer. Saul had been a man of fierce opposition. He was there when Stephen was stoned, giving approval and guarding the garments of those who hurled the rocks. He lived to destroy the early church, chasing Christians into prisons and pressing for their deaths. Yet in a moment on the Damascus road, Christ himself stopped Saul. The light from heaven blinded him, and the voice of Jesus pierced his heart. Saul, Saul, why persecutest thou me? It was here that the persecutor became the penitent. And the first evidence of this new life was not his preaching, not his zeal, but his prayer. Behold, he prayeth. Spurgeon draws out the wonder of this moment. First, prayer marked the reality of Saul's conversion. He had spoken many words before, but they were empty. Now he truly prayed from the heart with sincerity. This was not ritual or formality, but the groaning of a broken spirit before God. It was so real that heaven noticed. The angels themselves rejoiced, for when one sinner repents, all of heaven celebrates. This teaches us that true prayer is not about eloquence or length. It can be as simple as a tear, a sigh, or the cry, God, have mercy on me. Such prayers are heard in heaven, even when no one else hears them. Tears, Spurgeon says, are like diamonds in the treasury of God. They are not wasted. They are preserved as music before the throne. It was also astonishing to men. Ananias, who had feared Saul as an enemy, now hears a report. Behold, he prayeth. How shocking it must have been to think of Saul, the great persecutor, now on his knees in prayer. This is the wonder of grace. God can turn the fiercest enemy into a faithful servant. And it was a novelty to Saul himself. He had prayed formal prayers before, reciting them with his lips, but never from a heart. Now he was speaking to God as a child to a father, with sincerity and humility. Spurgeon reminds us that this is the mark of true religion, prayer. It is not enough to speak fine words or attend services outwardly. If there is no private prayer, no cry out to God in secret, then there is no true spiritual life. Prayer is the breath of the soul. A man may live without wealth, without health, even without friends, but he cannot live as a Christian without prayer. A prayerless soul is a Christless soul. Notice also how prayer is tied to sincerity. Anyone may read from a book or recite a prayer by rote, but God looks at the heart. A single cry of Lord, save me, is worth more than 1,000 empty words. This is why Paul's first true prayer was so significant. It was not about form, but about reality. Spurgeon also uses this moment to encourage believers. Prayer is a proof of election. If you pray with sincerity, it is evidence that you belong to Christ. If you find yourself desiring to believe, to love Christ, and to seek his mercy, these are not things born from the flesh, but from the Spirit of God. Do not despise the small beginnings of prayer. A whisper, a sigh, a word, a longing. It is enough to show that the Spirit is at work in you. The sermon then turns to a solemn warning. If prayer is the first mark of a Christian, what does it say of a prayerless life? Without prayer, one is unprepared for death and eternity. Spurgeon warns that to live and die without prayer is to perish without hope. Even a deathbed prayer is often nothing more than a desperate cry without true faith. He pleads with us not to wait for that moment, but to seek God earnestly now. In the end, Paul's first prayer is a reminder of the miracle of grace. From persecutor to intercessor, from enemy to child of God, such is the power of Christ's call. And it is the same today. The mark of new life is prayer. The strength of the Christian is prayer. The victory of the church is prayer. So let's be found like Paul, not in empty words or outward religion, but in earnest communion with God. May it be said of us, in sincerity and truth, behold, he prayeth. Thank you for joining us, and please like the video, subscribe, and share. God bless you all, and I hope to see you again.